Break family, welcome to the official review of NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. Really good show, lots of good matches, and actually we had like outcomes that we wanted for most of the matches, and from others I'm like, so you know. But Paul, what do you think about this show?
Yeah, I mean, not so much how it used to, but NXT, they deliver here, no pun intended, in a couple matches, like we said, are, really good. We're looking forward to the rematch, finally a one-on-one Dolph Ziggler and Bron Breakker. We with them, maybe not the outcome we all thought, but a good match nonetheless. And I was surprised by a couple other matches, even by the winners and by some of them that I liked more so than I thought I would.
Exactly. So, I feel that we can give this, a little bit of like cheers. Yeah, it was a decent show. Not,
maybe not that much. Calm down, people. Not that much.
Not that much.
Good.
Exactly.
It wasn't that
exactly.
good, but it was close.
Not that good, but a little bit. So, thank you so very much for being with us, family. WrestleMania weekend, all full-fledged right now happening. Don't forget, at night we're going to be with the review of night one for WrestleMania. Lots of good stuff. Stone Cold and Kevin Owens main event in that. Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, Becky with Bianca Belair, Cody Rhodes, maybe. The Undertaker, maybe. Shane McMahon, maybe. One of those will be the opponent for Seth Rollins. So be with us for that, family. And let's talk about the very first match that opened the show. And this is the tag team championship for the girls. Toxic Attraction going against a tag team that just reformed last week for the go-home show for NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver, and the inaugural women's tag team champions in Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Paul, pretty decent match, but we knew that if they put Raquel and Dakota together one more time, it was for a reason. It was just for them to get those titles off Toxic Attraction.
I almost thought this was going to be the opposite. I didn't even watch this because it was 1 week of build. I thought, okay, this is just because they don't have a match because they wanted to put the other two women in the tag team match. Yeah, exactly. It's laughable, but they wanted to put it in. They want to put the women of the Dusty Classic who won that, Io and Kaylee Ray, in the Fatal 4-Way, or to make it a Fatal 4-Way. So boom, we get this makeshift tag team. I didn't think they were going to win it. We're going to jump right to the end because honestly, like we said, the laugh track, who the hell cares? But, this is, they win it. And
this is the thing that happened. The Wendy Chu came back.
Yeah, because I did. I guess
I can actually take you through the whole thing because the thing what happened. Toxic Attraction, pretty good tag team. They tried with their finisher, the Toxic Boom or the Toxic Break or something like that. But of course, Raquel kicked out, so everybody's like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Or Dakota Kai, regardless, that she kicked out, but then Wendy Chu came out. Remember, they took her out when she was in the semifinals of the Dusty Classic. So she comes back, she throws juice to Gigi, and then that allows Dakota to give the tag to Raquel, and Raquel delivers the big power bomb, and then of course they get those wins. And Toxic Attraction loses the tag team belts, but the only reason that they put this on them is because they reformed. So we'll see what they do now, because maybe Raquel at some point is going to have to go to the main roster, or also Dakota Kai, at least she found something to do with Raquel one more time. Remember, now they're babyface. Remember, before they were heel. But nonetheless, it was a good way to start the show with the pre-show. And half of the crowd wasn't even there, so it doesn't really matter. I guess people weren't looking forward to this that much. I feel that they didn't give the importance to the tag team belts because it would have been on the show.
Think about it honestly. 1 week of build. I don't care if it is Raquel Gonzalez. She's not the main event woman she was 5-6 months ago when this show was booked by completely different people. Exactly, and
yes,
it to me it was stupid, and it was on the pre-show for a reason.
Yes, but nonetheless, like you said, there you go. New tag team champions for the girls. Now let's start with the main show, Jean Paul. NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. The tag team, not the tag team, the ladder match for the North American Championship. As you guys can see, Jason Warner, Santos Escobar, Carmelo Hayes, Sikoa, and also the last one, Cameron Grimes to the moon. He promised to his dad that he's no longer with us anymore, that he will win this title because he doesn't want to be an NXT superstar anymore. He wants to be called a champion. So your thoughts on this? Because any other ladder match that we've seen, that is now a rule or a standard that they do on NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver, the ladder match. It was pretty good. It was chaotic. They take their spots. Is this how it is? The match is always going to be like that. But I feel that it wasn't too bad. This one I actually enjoyed.
Yeah, this was one of those matches where I see a couple of the people involved, mostly Grayson Waller, and I think, some of the, they're just going to beat each other up. It's just going to be a lot of spots, a lot of dangerous stuff, and There was a lot of that, and a lot of the spots, some of them I did like the brutal spots, but the spots that I didn't was just when everybody gets involved, all like the managers. You see, one of the Veer or Shanky, whichever one is not on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
and now
it's for Jason Waller. Yes, we got to see
he gets involved. Then you see
Williams.
Then Trick Williams, Elektra Lopez. They all get involved, and it kills. It just you already gimmick it up by having it be a ladder match. That should be enough of a gimmick that you can just let them, wrestle.
Exactly.
But besides that, I mean, a big sunset flip powerbomb from Santos
Escobar.
Sikoa onto the ladder. Brutal. I mean, he bounced off that thing. That hurt. You see a lot of spots like this where all guys are up there. But a big one that's been going all over the internet, you probably already saw it right now. Carmelo Hayes, he's draped on the ladder there. Grayson Waller goes up. He jumps, and Carmelo Hayes rolls out of the way, and Grayson Waller just completely elbow drops that ladder. Done.
Done.
Done. And it looked bad. They,
some people even clap for it. Yeah. Grayson Waller is such annoying.
I was one of them. The refs came over. They were looking like, so I mean, I'm not saying he broke something, but it definitely looked like he's going to be hurting. Yes,
they're saying already that there might be possible an injury when it comes to Waller. But I mean, he tried. I mean, but when he dove, especially he didn't go like this. So he was in the middle of the air. I think he was regretting it. He's like, so I'm gonna get injured. So there you go, dive, and that's all he gets. But we get to see Cameron Grimes actually doing the cave in. I think it was into Santos Escobar. Right, quickly he climbs the ladder, retrieves the title, and he's the brand new
North American champion. He's the right guy to win it. I thought, okay, if you're gonna do a surprise and you're gonna really try to get a guy over, Solo Sikoa, okay, because the crowd liked him every time he was climbing the ladder. They were all chanting for him.
Yes,
so he's already pretty over. But Cameron Grimes, he's been there forever. So this
we wanted that.
This was the best feel good thing. And he's going to be a legit champion. Hopefully he has a decent run here. And then, main roster, at some point.
At some point, because, Cameron Grimes has the character that he had before. He was so over. Remember, To the Moon. And even when he had longer hair, the hat. So, he's been losing all of those things that made him so special. But at least now, he has a new beginning. Or NXT 2.0. So, hopefully this is what we see. So, once again, we'll give it a little bit of a clap. And now Paul telling me to the next one that this was pretty much like a pass of the torch is the last match on NXT for Tommaso Ciampa. So a lot of tributes, a lot of things. Tommaso Ciampa, this is his match in a way to say bye to everybody that put him over all these years. With Johnny Gargano, NXT champion, the biggest heel 4 years ago. Remember, when they didn't even have music, he will just come out to the ring. He did a tribute to Triple H. Right there with a bottle of water, spitting it out. Then he did Shawn Michaels, and Tony D'Angelo is not a bad wrestler, so they gave us a pretty good match. I feel that D'Angelo is kind of a perfect heel just to take that torch from him, because he's also I don't see him going after the NXT championship quite yet, because of heel is the champion. But despite of that, the only thing you said, Paul, is kicking out all of the finishers, right?
Yeah, that, and I mean, I'm gonna ask you this question, I mean, this isn't a work. I want to shoot for an answer here. Would you really push a guy that has a mobster Italian gimmick? Is that really something you push in the year 2022? This isn't 1980 anymore. You're not pushing Tugboat. You're not pushing, one of those guys, the Goon, somebody like that. No. It's a shitty gimmick. That's why I hate it. If this guy came out there and he was a wrestler, and he was an asshole, and he was sadistic, and they had this match. Who's the bigger asshole? Who's the bigger crazy, no good heel that's gonna stab his best friend in the back, to win? Who is that guy? But that wasn't what this was. That's how it was maybe in Vince's mind when he booked this, but that's not how it was. And that was the biggest thing. Ciampa, he hits the Widow's Bell, and then
the fairy tale ending,
and then he hits the fairy tale ending. He hits both his moves, sets him up. 1, 2, no, he kicks out. Oh my God, that was it. He even saw in Ciampa's face, well, I'm done, I'm buried, and then he just had to go through the motions. You saw he got the crowbar, the ref took it away, but then on the outside, that big DDT, and then back inside, he hits his finish.
Just a kick.
Just a kick. 1, 2, 3, and
he gets the win.
Ciampa's done. and the crowd silence. I mean,
Yep.
not even boos. I mean, nothing. They were just like, we don't, and that just shows you if that was like Roman Reigns pinning like an Edge, or when you pinned Daniel Bryan, in WWE or whoever, that the crowd boo because you're a heel and we respect you, so we'll boo you, and you pinned a guy we like. Here it was like when Ivan, I think it was, who was it, Ivan Koloff or somebody pinned Bruno Sammartino. They said it was silence because everybody was like,
really?
No, there's
a little bit of like disbelief, like they
it's like that. Yeah, you knew it was Ciampa's last match, but again, nobody thought he was going to put over the Italian mobster. Really? I mean, like in the year, like I mean that's what the big bullshit on this was. And then you see, Ciampa, he kind of just walks off like, so
the ball guys.
Thank you.
Ciampa,
Triple H comes
10.
out, and then they play his Triple H's music. He comes out, and they kind of have a little, some words there, and he holds his hand up. They gave both guys kind of an ovation, and this was good. If this is his send off to the main roster, or I don't even know what his contract.
Or AEW, yeah, like a brother AEW, yeah. Go AEW. Thank you, Tommaso Ciampa. He will give you claps. He was really good. When the days of Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano,
and that's the one thing. Ciampa, we don't know because he did wrestle in the Battle Royal, and we did see him on the main roster a couple times.
Yes,
but he might be one of those guys who says, no, I'm not going to do that each and every week. I'll do a couple appearances, but when my contract's up, it's up.
Maybe, like you said, Tommaso Ciampa also, he cares a lot about his character, about what he does, and like for example, yesterday, like we mentioned on SmackDown, he just looked like an idiot, but was eliminated by NXT guys, or like because it was Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. So there was implications. At least it wasn't, like R-Truth. Or, like Akira Tozawa eliminating Tommaso Ciampa. So at least it made a little bit of sense. But one more time, there you go. Thank you for everything, Tommaso. You made NXT what it was. Not what it is, because it's not the same thing. These two guys, the concert of the balls right here. Baldy with Baldy. Not Goldie for Goldie, not Goldie for Goldie.
That's what it looks like in Rope Breaks underwear on a hot summer day.
Yes, exactly. That's what we look like. That's what we look like.
The two balls just hanging there.
Yes, exactly. That's how we are. Exactly right. So that's what we was. Let's talk about the next match, because this is for the tag team championships. Imperium. They took away the music, so I don't care for them now. Marcel Bartel and Agner, and of course we had the Creed brothers and guys that we don't really care. So we're just gonna give them MSK, what do we care about these guys? But what do you think of the match, Paul? To me, I wanted the Creed brothers to win just because Diamond Mine has a little bit more. For me, at least, it's a good staple. They pushing new guys. Roderick Strong, he seems like a good leader. The match with Ilya Dragunov, all of that. But tell me, what do you think?
Yeah, and normally these matches I don't like, but this one they did it right. There's one from each team in there. Each guy can only tag their partner, not when it's a triple threat tag team match, but there's only two guys in there, and then you can tag whoever you want. The stupid rules you see on the main roster sometimes, they at least made a little more sense here. And it was good because you had different styles. I mean, the Creeds and Imperium are pretty similar because, big suplexes, wrestling, background and everything. But Imperium can also do a little bit of high flying and jumping like MSK. So everybody kind of meshed, and since MSK was the only high flying spot team, they were the ones that came in for those big moments. So this match actually flowed pretty good, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I thought the Creeds were going to win here because I thought, okay, we're going to see a lot of new champs, maybe crown some new talent. But then I thought as the match was going on, no, maybe Imperium's going to win, because we're going to see Walter win later on against LA Knight. That was a given. So you're thinking, okay, keep them looking strong. But, they had the Creed set up, and like I said, for me, I thought it was a pretty decent match. They had the Creed set up. They were going to hit their finisher. MSK comes in, takes a while. You had, I think, it was Bartel was sitting up there on literally forever until they came in. Eventually, then they hit their, I think they call it the MSK or whatever.
Yeah, the MSK. That's their finisher.
They hit the finisher 1, 2, 3, and they regained their belts, as commentary said, after a year from losing them or whatever. Journey back to the belts. I mean, yeah, this was to me the team that was, I think, in there. I thought to may eat the pin. Because I thought, okay, they're really pushing the Creeds, and
I would much rather the Creeds,
yeah. But I mean,
But again,
MSK.
there's some speculation. How long is those titles gonna last, depending on something that could
Yeah,
happen
if
with
any allegations, hold
allegations.
true, that on I think it's who is it, Nash Carter.
Nash Carter,
So
yes. So like,
we
if
gotta wait and
Kimberly,
see.
the wife, says something, if she happens to reveal something that has been kind of like, she's been sparkled out on rumors on the internet, I think those titles are gonna go right back to either Imperium, or they're gonna put it on the Creed brothers, because you know how the internet and the power of that is, like,
Yeah,
instantaneous.
but I mean, there's also, if it comes and people go, we don't really care. You got to see, if the smoke catches fire to something, because if something's said and then it goes away, Vince might not care. But if it becomes a big deal, then maybe Vince will care. Because
Yes, exactly.
you also got to think, how much does Vince care?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. We'll see. I mean, like I said, it's fine for MSK. They're good. Their division is completely dead. Outside of all those three teams,
NXT
who else
tag
are gonna-
division sucks.
Yeah, like, we haven't seen, the Grizzly on veterans. Where are they? Oh yeah, they're jobbing out. Okay, that's
And
great.
they need to go back to NXT UK. That's
Exactly. And help out. They just need something better to do. Let's go now to, like, the women's championship match: Io Shirai, Mandy Rose, Cora Jade, and Kaylee Ray. They put Mandy put Kaylee Ray and Io just because they needed the match to be better. Because Mandy and Cora, I don't think the match would have been such. It would have been a classic. So what did you think? I enjoy this. Io always doing her spots. Kaylee Ray for me should have been the champion, but I know Mandy Rose. There's more, especially for, like, this type of audience. She's sex appeal. How she sells, how she's always putting pictures in bikini outside. So it's like she knows how to sell at least the championship and the show.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely better than I thought. It wasn't anything spectacular. I still think later on tonight we're going to see 2 more women's matches that are better than this.
Yes.
I think Charlotte and Ronda, even though the build to that was awful, I think it's going to be good. And Becky and Bianca,
God awful. Yes, I agree.
and Becky and Bianca should still be pretty good. But I mean, this wasn't a complete dumpster fire. I liked Io in this. I'm big fan of Kaylee Ray as well. And Cora Jade's not bad, but of course, to me, she's another one of those young talents that's super pushed. At least her character seems to be real. It seems to be like just her. You know what I mean? And that's just who she is. So at least it's believable. Not like Tony D'Angelo, like I said, a fucking mobster, like a gang, like a Joe Pesci, like on TV. I mean, it is just awful. But I mean, this was good because of those 2 women who I mentioned, and but the other 2 I thought pulled their weight in here. Cora Jade had a big comeback at the end, like you see here. She takes Kaylee Ray out, then a big like Hurricane Rana, almost on the apron, and but eventually Io fights back. She hits her moonsault. You think, I actually thought they were maybe gonna put the title on Io. They actually had me for a little bit, but Mandy Rose came in. She hit that big knee onto Io, and then it was like, oh, who's she gonna pin? And I thought, oh, maybe Kaylee Ray's gonna come in, break this up. I didn't know how this was gonna go. They actually kind of had me excited at the end, but as soon as I saw Mandy make the cover, I thought, you know what, no,
and then
let Mandy retain. And the one thing too, I haven't been watching NXT because it's been god awful. But, of course, I wasn't going to miss the pay-per-view. Is this the first time they changed the belt to a white strap? Okay.
Yes.
So they just debuted that.
And also, like, as you can see, Paul, the N right there and the T are a lot smaller. Yeah. So, like, it's just to push the X. Is a lot bigger now. So, I mean, like, it was a good match, like you said. And, again, I know why Mandy Rose is still the champion. There's so many more reasons why you wouldn't take the title off her.
I think she's getting better, and but she sells that champion where it's like Sable was all sex and she was awful. At least Mandy is like, she has the sex appeal, but in the ring she's decent. She's decent. What I mean? Yeah, she's not bad.
If she has somebody that can dance, she will do something good. Yeah. She can produce. It's not the same Mandy Rose that we saw 2-3 years ago with Sonya Deville. They remember that she couldn't even break the table. Yeah. Like, it's not that. It's not that anymore. So, like, no laughs. No, be laughing. She's good. She's good. So, like, at least now we have a champion that is credible somehow. And, there's a lot of women right there that they can be the next contender, next opponent. So, it's good.
And a good thing, too, I mean, you did this match and you think, they're almost working in reverse now. Because now you can do single feuds if you want
with every single one of them. Exactly.
Yeah, but the one thing, I mean, which I don't watch the show, only, like I said, pay-per-views I'm tuning in for, and that's it for this show. But I feel like they're just going to do, like, Wendy Chu, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez against Toxic Attraction.
It could be the next one, yes. Yeah, it could be the next one, and we'll see. I mean, Wendy Chu, like, the character, especially when she has like the pajamas. I'm done.
Yeah, done.
Same thing with
Done.
Sheree. The cosplay, all of that. I'm
Yep,
done.
done.
Sheree is probably like the worst. We go from the Askas, Eos, also like Kari saying, like they were presented so good. The build up, the booking of every single one of them, so great, so slow, but at the same time so successful. No,
Done.
no, done. Sheree, thank you. 2 minutes and done. 2 minutes and yep, there you go. Another one, we're gonna play it again because this one should have been even on pay-per-view. Why is this shit on pay-per-view? We knew that like Gunter or Walter, well, like we're gonna call it because it's our show. This match was decent at most. Why I say decent, because we've seen Walter in so many other matches that are way better than this. LA Knight is, as the character, is great. He's a pretty decent wrestler, but did you think that he could have beat Walter? No.
No, and especially with what we saw, Imperium lost, so I thought, okay, Walter, we've already seen him lose on NXT television in the United States. That's real. You Dragunov beat him on pay-per-view. So, okay, so we've seen it. So, you did it once, you can do it again. I thought, okay, if maybe LA Knight, he's been putting these people over, doing these jobs, maybe he's going to get the upset win. Maybe there's going to be some kind of crazy, fluke victory here for LA Knight.
No.
And then as I'm watching it, I thought, you know what? No, because Walter needs to win. LA Knight's been doing all these jobs. Unfortunately, he's just going to keep doing all these jobs. And he does it here for Walter. I enjoyed this match, though. Like you said, Walter and Ciampa was great. Walter and Ilya Dragunov, all those matches were great. In a singles match, Walter puts on great matches, but this was for nothing. The feud was, for nothing. I mean, yeah, LA Knight can get you excited for a feud just in a 30-second promo. But when the feud is for nothing, what is it really? It still don't.
That's what I mean. Yeah. This match was just put together to give Walter like a credible opponent, because Walter then, I think the next thing might be the NXT Championship. I don't know how soon that will be, but you don't have a guy that can go toe to toe with Walter anymore. And that's the thing. Like, he suffers because there's no credible opponent for him. You already took away Pete Dunne, now it's Butch. So There you go. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? That's the problem. But that was like before the main event. And like I said, Walter is great, but again, if he doesn't have a guy that can like Bill O'Neil, even remember the Ciampa feud, at least, for the words and everything was decent, but like LA Knight, like you said, he's been doing jobs for everybody. He's more losses than actually wins. So even he lost to Bron Breakker in the first episode of NXT 2.0, because we did cover that. So let's go to the main event, Paul, and this is finally like the NXT Championship match. Bron Breakker, he put like his father and his uncle into the Hall of Fame yesterday when against Dolph Ziggler, a guy that like finally a little bit of like, I will say, retribution for his character, all the jobs that he's done in WWE through the years. So now he actually has the NXT Championship. I enjoyed this match because Dolph is such a great wrestler. He actually can have a great match with anybody. Dolph is just like that. I don't know why he's in his head that he could not be like the main guy. And at least here,
I mean, I wouldn't say it's in his head. I'm sure if Dolph was given that ball, he would take it and run with it. It's just Vince McMahon and everybody else. Why was he pushed legit? Everybody says people say like Mr. Perfect. People say Shawn Michaels. They make these comparisons, and everybody does it for a reason. I mean, he's great, and this match, you knew here this was going to be great.
Yes.
Bron Breakker. Every time Breakker got on offense and looked good, oh, there goes Bobby Roode. Oh, no, get Bobby Roode out of here. You're out of here. Oh, man, now the even playing field. And, I mean, he's just so good. The way that he can just sell for Breakker. Breakker can just pick him up, throw him, or he hits a spear and it looks like it cuts him in half. I mean, it just everything you really, believe that he's killing this guy. And that's just all because of good Dolph Ziggler is.
Dolph is like you said, the selling work, and of course the Bron is good. You know that he's the future. You know that there's so many things in Bron Breakker. The intensity, how hard he goes with the spear. He's just like a trailer hitting you. That's great.
And the guy is so strong and so crazy. I mean, but crazy because then you see him do like when he did the big dive to the outside. He's not one of those guys where you see hundreds of dives or I'm going to do a big moonsault in every match. No, it's when it calls for it and there's the spot. No, he dove to the outside. He took out Ziggler and Roode. And then but eventually at the end of this thing, because Roode, he came out again, and it's like, oh, what's he doing out here? Blah blah blah. Because of course, Dolph Ziggler, he wasn't going to win clean, not in this. And then the turnbuckle pad was off. Breaker gets sent into that. Boom, head first into the steel, turns around, eats the kick. 1, 2, 3. And I love how the super kick, we saw it get since Ziggler's been on NXT, the super kick's over.
Yeah.
How many people do you see use a super kick? Not really anybody. And he hits it one time, pins you 1, 2, 3. Couple years
and that's how it should be, right?
A couple years ago on the main roster, he hit somebody with a super kick and they kick out at 1.
Yes.
But I love the finish though. It's like boom, he hit as soon as Breaker got in the ring. He hit like the zigzag, all that stuff. I mean, it was.
He could all his arsenal, and
it was great to see him hit all his moves and then pin a guy. It was like, oh my god, we never see that.
Exactly. So like it was a really cool, and we were thinking that Bron Breakker was going to regain the title right away. Seems like they're going to give it like another month, maybe something, and it's good because that solidifies him. There's going to be more guys coming and doing this cross promotion because
what you want to do?
The show needs it.
NXT. I mean, hey, like I said, this is the third time I'm saying it. I just do pay-per-views. I can't stand the show for 2 hours every week. But you want to do this legit? Have Walter be the one to beat Dolph Ziggler. Hey, yeah. Bron Breakker had his chance. Okay, now you're legit, whatever. Eventually, do this match again. Because Bron Breakker, he can be the one to eventually dethrone Walter. Let Walter have a long title reign. Let him hold the belt for a year, whatever. And maybe Bron Breakker's getting moved right up. Who knows what their plan is with him. But, you could really stretch this out and make this good. But, I'd see a rematch between these two, even without the title.
I liked it. Yeah. So, this is going to be really good. So, this is what we do. And overall, we're going to give, a chant because it was good. It was good.
Yeah, if you had to ask me, did I like it or did I hate it? And it can only be thumbs up, thumbs down, no gray in the middle. I would say I liked it. I didn't hate it.
I was pleasantly surprised that Dolph Ziggler won because I've been a fan of Dolph Ziggler ever since.
And the pay-per-view as a whole, not just that match.
As a whole, enjoyable. Yeah. I enjoy. It's not, far are the days of the days of the good NXT takeovers that we actually look forward to. Remember Saturday, 7 p.m. Oh, we love this. No, it's far long gone now. But at least this was a good try for that, a good attempt.
Yeah.
A good attempt, and that's how it's going to be. Family, thank you so very much for being with us in this moment because we're going to be later on with you guys. We have WrestleMania 91. We're going to be reviewing all of that. Who knows, we might do other things. It's all up to us, but just be with us for all those too. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and where they can find us.
And guys, make sure you follow us on all of our social media. Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...